Joining me now is my newsmaker today, Justice R.S. Sodhi, former Justice at the Delhi High Court, who's also joined in this debate. Because you are making all the headlines this morning in the papers, Justice Sodhi, when you said that the Supreme Court has hijacked the constitution of the country. What exactly did you mean, Justice Sodhi, by saying that?
Well, what I mean to say when I say the Supreme Court has hijacked the Constitution is that the Constitution has been interpreted in a manner that the Constitution cannot be interpreted. The Constitution provides for appointment of judges in a particular fashion and does not give collegium an opportunity to keep appointing themselves. That's why I said you have hijacked the Constitution.
But what you are suggesting then, Justice Sodhi, is that the judges are misusing the collegium system for appointing judges, but this system has existed from 1993. Why suddenly in 2023 wake up and say that? Because, that will lead to people, raising questions. Why now?
I did not say they are hijacking the entire Constitution. I just said that they had hijacked the Constitution, which was functioning till 1992 very well, as far as the appointment of the judiciary is concerned. But all of a sudden they need to change it to make themselves appoint themselves. That is hijacking.
No, but what you are saying, Justice Sodhi, is that in 2023, 30 years after the collegium system has been in place, now when Kiran Rijiju, the law minister, and other government functionaries are questioning the manner of the functioning of judiciary, you also join in the debate. Are you batting for the Modi government?
I am not batting for anybody. This interview I gave on the 8th or 9th of January. I did not know what the law minister was doing or is going to use it or not use it. Mine was an innocent answer to a question asked by me by a journalist, and that is it. I had no other political motive to it. But if you can use it, what can I do about it?
You're saying there were no political motives to your question, but let's get it specific. Are you saying, therefore, that the Indian judiciary needs to move away from the collegium system where 5 judges appoint High Court judges and 3 judges, or vice versa, 5 Supreme Court judges appoint fellow judges as well as High Court judges?
See, I think the collegium system has outlived its utility and is now decaying. The decay has to be stopped, and we can do that by overhauling our system. After all, we do want the judiciary to function appropriately, and we also want appointments to be made transparently and with some guideline and system to be there, not ad hocism and knee-jerk reactions.
But what suddenly has changed for you to say all this? Is there something specific that has happened for you to feel that the judiciary has lost its way? I
don't want to get into that part. Yes, lots of things have happened and lots of things are happening. But the way it has moved, the system is moving now, I think it is moving in the wrong direction, and therefore it was time for me to speak up. But I am not going to name any judges, I am not going to name anybody, and therefore it is pointless asking me these questions again and again. I'm not asking you, Justice Sodhi, to name specific judges. I am asking you to be specific with our audience today. What is wrong in the current system for a judge like you to say the judiciary has hijacked the Constitution? What is that has made you feel so angry to say that? All right. What I notice is that the Supreme Court judge, who is appointed from a particular High Court, runs his agenda of forcing the Chief Justice of that court to send names which he wants to be sent. And that is why the High Courts are becoming absolutely spineless, because they are looking up at the Supreme Court for their appointments to the Supreme Court, for their appointment, for their transfers and the like. Therefore, I felt that it is an impropriety, and that appropriate selection is not taking place, but it is going on in a nature that would be harmful to the judiciary.
You know, the flip side to what you are saying, Justice Sodhi, is, are you looking for the government to intervene? Will we now have a situation where the government will virtually decide or have their say or final say in the appointment of judges in this country?
No, I do not say that the government should appoint or have a say per se. But what I say is that the independence of the High Court should also be taken into consideration. The High Courts are today no longer independent. And please tell me, how come 3 judges of the High Court who form the collegium can become so wise as to choose names from a pool that is just not there? And what about the other judges of the High Court? Are they irrelevant? Where is their say? So the system has to change itself. This collegium system of 4 and 5 or 2 or 3s having their way is bad.
No, sir, no one is saying systems don't need to be reformed, but you're saying all this at a time when the law minister is seen to be taking pot shots at the judiciary, the government is seen to be sitting on appointments of judges, the government is seen to want only convenient judges. Which is a better system at the end of the day? One which has government intervention, or one which is the present system, which, as you rightly said, may be opaque, but at least doesn't have government interference on a daily basis?
I do not support the fighting or the infighting going on between the Supreme Court and the law minister and such. I do not support it at all. And on the contrary, I think it's most unsavory that two responsible limbs of the Constitution should be battering it out on the streets like this. It does not behove the Supreme Court nor the executive or the Parliament. It has to be sorted out in a rational manner, but at the same time, the collegium, the way of the 5 or the way of the 3, the will of the 5 or the will of the 3 has to stop, and there has to be a more broader way, and we must know who is being appointed, why is he being appointed, or what is the criteria of appointment. There is absolutely nothing. It's just your will, and if you just keep on importing your will into everything, and that also will of 3 for a High Court judge, will of 5 for a Supreme Court judge, is that feasible?
Let me leave it there. Justice Sodhi, you've set the cat among the pigeons once again with your remarks. This is a debate that is going to carry on. What it does, though, to the independence of the judiciary, or indeed the future of the judiciary, we'll leave it to all you mighty judges and jurists to decide. Thanks very much for joining me.